metal-handed God. I'd like to welcome all you freaks to the metal-handed God. We some nerds with the urge to purge on some odd. Show him the dick print, then hit him with the rod. The love doctor tell you how to get the Ichabod. Crane, Adam Rowe, Colin Wayne. How do they maintain when they clinically insane? We keep it so metal that we spitting yoga flame. Adam Story's got a point if you let him explain. It's the pun of all puns, get a pun with Papa Wayne. Rum tapping the vein, and 9 minutes bringing pain. MHOG secreting, leaving a stain. You ain't as dope as us, bitch. Stay in your lane.
All right.
And 3, 2.
And welcome back to the Metal Handed God podcast, the most dangerous podcast on the planet. I am your host, Wayne, and these two guys sitting a distance away from me are
Adam gonna sex you up all night.
And I'm the rum guy.
oh yeah, the rum guy.
He's gonna drink you up.
Oh yeah, all night.
That was my first concert, by the way. I'm sure I've said it on the show before, but
Yeah,
it was
When-
Color Me Bad.
Were they still popular when you saw them, or was that like later on?
It was 30 years ago.
I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know if they did like a
Roughly. It was
an
30 years
oldies
ago.
concert you went to or something.
No,
or-
it was-
Yeah, we're not sure, man. Some people do in their later age people have never been to concerts and they go later and then
yeah.
I've been to a concert before, Color Me Bad. No, not before. God damn it. I've been to a concert within the last 30 years. But
Oh, okay. I was just checking.
But no, it's Color Me Bad and Amy Grant.
Oh Lord.
And I had
That's a
both of those
combination.
albums. I
Oh,
mean, it is an odd
that-
combination, but they
That was
opened for.
painful.
I love Amy Grant.
Oh my God.
Name a
She-
song.
She sang at my church when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, she switched to exclusively gospel music now. I mean,
Yeah.
Sing
Weird.
a Amy Grant song.
I'm gonna sex you up.
That's not Amy.
I'm Amy Grant.
oh, okay. Here's one
And
of
I
her
got a
songs.
twat.
Here's one of her songs. Baby, baby, da 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 da. Da. Birds are
Da-
flying, da da da
Out
da
your
da
ass.
da.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that was terrible.
Yeah. That's one of
whatever.
the better ones.
I just want to say I really, really hope all of our sound is coming out well for everybody because it really sounds off for me.
You sound fine.
It's cool. It's
I
cool.
mean-
Like I need the mix. I'm just making sure everybody's good. Just make sure everybody can hear us.
I
We
mean,
good.
again, I'm doing as much as I can do. I need a better mixer. I need somebody to teach me how to use a better mixer.
Well, I don't think it's the mixer problem. I just think it's Skype bullshit. I really do.
Some of it's the mixer, but some of it's Skype. Whatever.
Good. Yeah.
But yeah, no, my first concert was Color Me Bad and Amy Grant, and you know what? I loved it. I went with my mom, and we had a good time. You know, and
I do
I
believe
Do you think those guys will do a reunion?
who
Color Me Bad.
think they're
they
still
did.
together.
That's why I posted that thing.
Was that actually them? That
Yes.
wasn't them.
Hey,
that
why-
wasn't
hey,
them.
since we're on a podcast, why don't we explain what that thing was instead of just talking?
Yes,
about
Wayne.
vaguely?
I posted an article in our group chat of one of the members of Color Me Bad that they did I guess it's a fucking casino tour because they're doing so well these days. And as they did their casino tour, one of the members was very upset and decided to walk on stage and pummel the other member while the crowd watched. And if you go look online, I'm sure you can find the video and the article, and it's quite funny because that guy really let himself go.
Yeah,
Just say-
they should really change their name to Color Me Fat with two
Yeah.
T's.
Yeah.
Well, he should have seen it coming because he was walking towards him going, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Boop, bop, boop, bop, yeah, yeah.
That's a good song, though.
That is.
Good song.
It would have been a boring concert because they would have just done the same one over and over again, right?
Pretty much, 'cause that's the only one I fucking know.
They had 2 albums, but the first album was the one that was popular, and I think they had like 3 color. Like, well, I
They actually had 3 albums.
No. Well, maybe they did. I don't know. I know that they had at least 2, but they were never more popular than "I Want to Sex You Up." They had like a couple of other songs that were hit songs.
Yeah, they came out of the gate hard, and then
Well, that's how they had sex with you, is they came hard.
they kind of remind me of I think that's where they got the idea for the skit with the Dick in a Box guys. They kind of remind me of that look, that feel. You know
Definitely.
what I mean?
It's the same facial hair, same like weird colored jackets and stuff like that.
The color blocking silk shirts and shit.
Stupid facial hair.
Facial hairs.
Their facial hair is pretty stupid. Let's not. It's very like Miami 1983 Latino facial hair.
I thought I was gonna kind of train mine into that look.
I would love to see that. I
actually wanted to do like spirals. Remember the Spin Doctors logo? It was a circle and a circle thing. I was gonna do that on my cheeks.
And they like kind of like did their whole like the singer did his whole head.
Yeah. I brought up Spin Doctors. I'm just saying that.
Or was that Flea? That was Flea who did that with his shape.
Flea.
Spiral.
Fuck you for that Spin Doctors reference. like we can. I think the world can do without anyone ever mentioning Spin Doctors ever again.
Oh my God! That'd have been an awesome concert. Color Me Bad, the Spin Doctors, and Young MCs.
I'm down with the Young MC.
That'd be awesome.
Why did you pluralize Young MC?
Because it's actually another band called Young MCs.
There's a band called Young MCs.
Yes, not Young MC the rapper, but Young MCs.
Well, Young MC should sue. Let me Google this. Young, is it spelled weird?
It might be. I can't remember. I remember the songs. They had a song called "Get Crackin'." Oh my God! Hold on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it'd be an awesome concert. Can you imagine how weird the '80s concerts are going to be for like? Is it the '80s? Was that the '80s or that the '90s? '90s concerts going to be really weird. Like those oldies concerts that they do. Like they still do like the '50s. You see those on TV on PBS. Donate money and help the geriatric, Motown group.
Yeah.
People actually got mad at me. Well, not a lot of people, like 1 or 2 people, because I posted yesterday that like an old man that today's music sucks and it was better when I was a kid.
Well, it's true. There's no doubting that. There's very few decent groups to listen to these days.
I don't even know if there's decent groups anymore. I think there's decent songs, but like I was listening to sometimes in the mornings I turn on music because I tend to drive myself insane by listening to politics and shit in the morning first thing.
Yeah, you need to wash your brain out after that.
I shouldn't. I need to stop doing it in general, and so sometimes I'll turn on. Of course, I have the problem with the iPhone where it's an algorithm, so even though you say shuffle, it'll play the same songs over and over again. But
right,
OPP came on, and so I was like, "Oh, here we go," and I turned it up, and and I was dancing, and while I was driving, and I was sitting there and thinking, they don't have an equivalent song to OPP. For this generation, they don't have anything that 20 years from now people across the board and every age will be like, fuck yeah, I love that song, and start bouncing to it. There's
they got those songs, huh?
What's okay? what are those songs, bro?
Well, let's see. I'm trying to remember.
It's gonna be something from Teen Beach Movie.
No. What? Give me the decade. What am I looking at? We're talking about a decade, right?
2011.
Or this year.
This decade. This decade.
This decade. Oh, geez, dude.
Exactly.
Well, there's been a lot of songs, man. I mean, there's stuff that's going to carry over.
I'm not saying that there hasn't been a good song in a decade. I'm just saying I don't think there's anything multi-generational. Like our parents have multi-generational music. There's
What
and
about
look,
Thong Song?
I hate you. That was from like 2001.
Well, I don't know. I mean, is that what you're talking about? Because
No,
the OPP was early 90s.
Yeah.
So 2001's another decade. That's 10 years after.
I don't know
that.
how old you are, but that was my childhood. I was a
What?
teenager when OPP came out. In fact, it would have been 1991 or 92 because 1993 was the second album. So probably 1992 was OPP.
All right.
So I would have been 12 or 13.
It would be hard. It would be hard to actually maybe something from Halsey or Halsey.
Who's that?
Halsey's a chick. She sings. She's got a lot of #1 hits. She's got some catchy shit. Maybe some Skrillex.
Skrillex will never carry over.
Oh yeah, it's going to because he led the movement of electronica for this generation. It was Skrillex, and it was before him. It was Crystal Method, that sort of thing. So
Crystal Method only has one song that people remember.
Oh, they have a lot of stuff. They actually have written quite a bit of stuff, man.
I'm not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying they only have one song that anyone's going to ever remember.
There it goes, crossing generations. We got a song.
Yeah, but I won't think of Crystal Method until someone like you says, "Hey, remember Crystal Method?" And I'll go, "Yeah, they had that one song. What was that song?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying. I'm again.
It'll probably be a song that we wouldn't. We, as in us three, would never listen to, and there's going to be an entire generation going, "That's my jam." I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
You know what's going to pass through? I can tell you right now. It's going to be all that. It's going to be all that pop punk stuff. That's going to be the songs that carry on for this generation. It's not going to be Skrillex. It's not going to be
like what? Like pop punk? What are you talking about?
Like the Blink 182s and the bands like that. Those are going to be your 90s and on kids.
Ooh, I know it'll be Du Hast.
That's for us, fool.
First of all, I have to, I'm sure I've said this to y'all before, but I have to drop in. There's no such thing as pop punk. Punk music was anti-corporate rock. Pop music.
It's just what they call it.
Rock. I know, but but these kids actually think they're punk. They're not.
Yeah, they're not punk.
Well, we all know they're not.
No, they think Tokyo Hotel is hardcore.
Like, punk music was a direct answer to corporate rock. Blink 182, I remember them being like considered, calling themselves. I don't think there was a pop punk label at the time. I think they just called themselves.
They were just straight punk rock.
And
they were mainstream punk.
Well, that's the thing. They were sponsored by Hurley. They were corporate rock.
Right. They stole the sound to make it mainstream.
But I don't think punk music ever had like a sound to it. I think that people look at certain bands like The Clash and Sex Pistols and go, "Oh, that's punk music." But there's no through line from The Clash to the Sex Pistols. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you have a different sound, if you're a genre, there should be some, where you could say, okay, there's certain signifiers of every genre of music. Punk doesn't really have any signifiers. It was more of a
Talking Heads
thing.
Not all punk bands, do this. So don't get me wrong, but 90% of what they would consider a punk rock band, it's basically like 7 chords.
Okay. Right.
And it's open strums and it's fast.
No, that's thrash punk.
No, it's just punk rock.
Well, some punk rock is just regular.
There's a whole bunch of you can do it just like you get into metal. Like there's so many subgenres of everything. But I mean, as a general statement, punk rock is just upbeat guitar, faster, mostly 4 to 7 chords.
Punk rock, I think Rancid.
Right.
Just bands like that. So yeah, I see what you're saying.
But it's not like with metal. I find there's 80 billion different categories. You got thrash, you got hardcore, you got death metal, you got fucking
Black metal, you get
metalcore now. You know, it's like all this fucking bullshit.
doom metal.
That's a perfect example. There used to be metal bands that were multi-generational. The current metal bands are not. There's no Black Sabbath. There's no, even if I know metal fans get mad, Black Album, whatever, but there's no Metallica. You know, I don't even know if there's a Megadeth.
Megadeth and Metallica aren't.
When you say multi-generational, are you talking about a song that's played now that appeals to multiple age groups, or are you talking something that's going to last through?
I'm both. I'm saying, number one, it's got to be something that like people besides the generation that created it can appreciate. Number two, it's got to be something that people will remember 20 years from now.
Well, I gotta. It's my opinion. I mean, it's just, but I think bands like Ghost. I think Ghost is doing great things. They've taken an old sound and pushed it through and brought it into a new generation. And I think that sound's going to last. Ghost has really captured the essence of what it was back when acid rock was popular, like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, that type of background,
like Deep Purple and fucking Iron
band. I don't know if you've heard of them, Adam, but they're actually pretty good. They're a real young band. They're called Greta Van Fleet.
I haven't heard of either one of those bands.
They sound very much like they get like the Zeppelin sound.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some. I think they're here, and I think maybe it's going to be one of those things that a generation's going to find them again, and they're going to go, "Well, this band was fucking awesome. Look what I found. This is very cool." It's like, I didn't even hear that. Man, they had like 14 albums. How come I never heard of them? And then they're going to blow up, and then you're going to see merch for them. You know, it's one of those things. Like for ever and ever and ever, there was, you know, for a while there was, everybody had a Led Zeppelin T-shirt back in the day, and then there was a lull that no one had one. Then all of a sudden they came back and they're at Target. You know, it's one of those things.
Well, it's because the band went away and people stopped making merch, and then somebody realized, hey, people still love this band. We can make a fortune by just buying the license and printing out the shirts.
Right. But I mean, that's also a way of younger culture, hopefully, finding the music too.
Except that, and look, and I realize that these videos are often staged to make people look stupid, but we've all seen hundreds of those videos where some kid's wearing a Nirvana shirt and they're like, yeah, you know, Kurt Cobain, and the kid's like, what? Who? What are you talking about? Like, it's
I just like the smiley face.
Right, exactly.
Like, this is a different subject, but I was actually just talking to Travis Hemel, who designed our cover art and many other things for us.
Super nice guy.
About the new Venom movie, and we were talking about how, like, it just doesn't, it looks whatever, if that's what you're interested in, it looks whatever. But we well, I was referencing another conversation with a friend who was saying, like, he doesn't get the everlasting popularity of Venom. And what I was saying was, the reason people are interested in this movie, the reason people love Venom, has nothing to do with Venom. It's Spider-Man, but he's dark, and it's like a horror metal thing. Like, Venom is less a character to most people. Venom is a lot like Wonder Woman. He's not a character. He's sort of an idea. And
wasn't Venom brought forth from something from space, and he took the form of Spider-Man?
It's a very long story, but yes.
But I'm Cliff Notes saying, of course.
It was an alien that
symbiote.
Yeah, well, he thought it was a costume machine, and he was on an alien planet, and it turned out to be like a living thing that attached to him and had its own consciousness.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think, like, well, right, going back to what I was talking about, the point is that Venom's an idea, and I think a lot of these bands that kids wear the shirts of, they don't know the music. They don't care about the music. It's just a cool symbol. It's cool to wear an AC/DC shirt,
an Iron Maiden shirt, or whatever.
Or I mean, I guess the more obscure to them, like Iron Maiden isn't obscure to us. No, but it's obscure to them. So, like, if
they buy it because the graphics. The same reason we bought the albums They're buying the shirt.
because the artwork is fucking incredible, and then they look at it and go, "Man, this is really cool," and then
they
they
get to say
don't
it's
even
vintage.
they don't even know it's a band most of the time.
And if they do, kudos to them, because then they're woke.
But hey, that's the parents' fault. Like, because if you're gonna buy your kid, and I'm not even a Nirvana fan, I think they've got some good music, but I don't give a shit about them.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna buy your kid a Nirvana shirt, and your kid wants it, you should be like, okay, I'll buy you this, but you have to listen to the music. Like, you can't, you're not my kid's not gonna walk around wearing that shirt and be ignorant of what, like, we're not fake, and so it's definitely the parents' fault in that case.
I was working at the Side Story with Nirvana. I was working late on the college radio station in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, and I was there. I was like, why is there so much fucking traffic? What the fuck is going on? Parking. There was no parking in any of the lots. And it's like, what is going on? And I see everybody. They're doing this preparation. It looked like it was a graduation ceremony. I'm like, what is going on? I had to walk through the quad to get to the building that had this radio station in it. And I'm walking through, and they have these little white candles with the little drip guards, like you do for like candlelight service. Some churches do that for around Christmas time. And there's like thousands of people just standing in the quad. Like, what is going on? And everybody's crying. These girls are crying. Everybody's like, oh my God. I was like, what is going on? They're holding up signs. It was like, remember Kurt Cobain, the great. It was like, the guy from Nirvana. Yeah, he shot himself. And they're start passing out the candles. And I get up into the studio, and I'm looking out of the window down at the quad, seeing all the people, and I'm talking about it on the air. It's like, and yeah, I can see all these people apparently really, really mourning the loss of Kurt Cobain. And and I'm doing the commentary. They're lighting the candles, and as soon as everybody had the damn candle lit, and they were going to start doing something, it poured. All of the fucking candles went out at one time. And it was so poetic. And I started laughing. And I started getting hate calls on the air because I was laughing at them. So it was just really funny.
Don't blame you. I was actually kind of hoping the story. I really thought you were going to fuck with this. The story was going to end with like you walking in on Kurt Cobain with a gun in his mouth or some shit.
No.
No, I was just, while you were telling that, I was just thinking like, yeah, that's how people used to like do that sort of thing. If Kurt Cobain died now, there'd be 80 assholes writing long Facebook posts about how he was the greatest musician, and there'd be girls the next morning going spend all night listening to Kurt Cobain lyrics and just crying for the death of music in our world, and
I'm gonna cut myself in remembrance.
Oh God, if there's one thing I hate more than anything on Facebook, it's when someone dies and every asshole comes out to pretend like
you didn't see this, with Chris Cornell or the dude from Linkin Park. I mean, they talked a little bit about it on the radio, but there was no big news broadcast. But boy, we sure miss Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah,
yep.
Well, fair enough. But I mean,
I
remember when I always use the example of Merle Haggard when he died. And here's the thing:
I have his T-shirt.
Fair enough. If you're a Merle Haggard fan, you are a hardcore country and western guy. Oh, okay. I don't listen to Merle Haggard. I don't give a fuck about Okie from Muskogee. I think it's terrible. And I'm a big country guy. So all these people that were like, music Merle died. I'm just like, you are fucking full of shit. You did not listen to Merle Haggard. I know that because I don't listen to Merle Haggard.
My dad was huge Merle. He was always into the outlaw country guys. So it was like you always had Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and all those guys are always being played at my house when I was growing up.
I love Waylon. I'm a mild Johnny Cash fan. I like a good bit of his music, and then there's some of his music that I think shit.
I mean, like anybody, I think he was a talented writer. He was a talented storyteller with his music.
Yeah.
Not everything that came out of his mouth, I don't think should have been sung by him. I think other artists that have
not
done
everything
some
that came out of his
covers
mouth
over
was
the
him either. Like some of his bigger songs were other people.
yeah, but I think he did. He represented a generation in country music at the time, and I think that it was represented. It really represented the time.
So I want to say this. All right. So you guys were saying, basically you shit on all these people that were upset about Kurt Cobain's death and all that other stuff, which is fine. I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean to shit on him. It just struck me really funny because it was like all this preparation, and then it's like they were 3, 2, rain.
Right.
Fuck.
No, don't get me wrong. I would have laughed with you.
I'm not.
What I'm saying is,
I want to be clear. I'm not shitting on the fact that people love Kurt Cobain because, again, I'm not the biggest Nirvana fan, but they have some great songs.
Right.
People overreact to celebrities, even musicians that touched you, like
they did with Beatlemania.
A few people.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say is like when Lennon died, it was kind of like a death of a generation. When Cobain died, it was the same thing. They felt the same way. It was kind of like, okay, this guy died. People followed him through his whole career, so they felt like a part of their generation and their story has passed. Is basically what these people are doing. And I'm like I said, I was a fan. I was a huge fan. I wasn't like.
Did you cry?
No, I wasn't like that or anything. I mean, I do.
The thing.
I do still have the ticket stub, the bracelet, and the People magazine of him. Like when he played here, I went to see him. And I think it was like maybe 2 to 4 months after he played here, he killed himself.
They were a icon of the grunge movement at the time in the 90s.
I think they were an icon in music, period. Not just a movement.
I
think they were one of the faces of grunge in the 90s. Grunge became very popular, and but when like bands like Nirvana left, and Pearl Jam got weird, and those sort of bands, that whole grunge scene just died. It was like metal's disco. It faded away.
No,
agreed.
Grunge stuck around through the late 90s.
Yeah, but not for very long. I mean, I think grunge pretty much was dead by 96.
Every movement has about a 10-year cycle.
Yeah.
And then people move on to something else because a new generation comes in and they don't want to hear the shit that their cousin was listening to.
Yeah. Because you gotta think of it this way, because what grunge was birthed out of was the fucking hair metal days. And once the hair metal days in the 80s faded, that's when they picked up.
And then alternative picked up like in the late 90s going into the mid 2000s. But I don't agree. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Wayne. What I'm saying is there were hipsters even then, and fans of Nirvana are like I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying that they're all fake. I'm just saying everybody's seen elite. No, even then, everybody's met somebody that has at some point said something like, I was listening to a band called Nirvana before anyone knew who Nirvana was. Like, there are people who genuinely grew up like they were listening to those albums when they were a garage band, and there's people who picked it up late who just wanted to be part of something and had to tell you that they were part of it. And some of those people that were crying are those people who just needed to tell you how important it was. I'm not saying that Kurt Cobain wasn't, because I agree with you. I think Kurt Cobain is the closest thing that they had in the 90s to John Lennon. I'm not saying that I think, the talent levels are the same or anything like that, but there wasn't like, because like Rom, you mentioned Pearl Jam, and Pearl Jam, their first album was amazing. Their second album was, and then after that,
I'm not arguing with the albums, and I'm not a super huge Pearl Jam fan, but they stuck it out through the 90s was their decade.
Right. Well,
for sure.
But what I'm saying is like they were going to be that band, and then their creative life was one album really, and the same thing with STP. STP had 2 amazing albums, and then Scott Weiland couldn't put down a needle, and they
you had a lot of other bands back in too that came
lot of
spun
people-
out of. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, a lot of people forget. I was going to say the same thing. A lot of people forget about like
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains, man. Like that fucking dude. They have put out great records.
Oh, Alice in Chains has always been a great band. They've been a rock band. They were not grunge.
No, but I'm saying in that decade they were in that same area, same
Right,
era.
but that, I don't
Well,
think
it's funny
they-
because there's a member part of an interview with the guys from Warrant saying that, and I think we mentioned this one time before. I think it was on the decline of Western civilization, and they said that the guys from Warrant went into their label, and on Monday their poster was right up front, huge album cover behind the front desk when you walked into the record producer's office, and then the next day they went in, it was a picture of Alice in Chains, and they're like, "What the fuck happened?"
I don't think Alice in Chains, even though they were very popular, and I had several of their albums, I don't think they ever quite reached the levels of like Pearl Jam, STP, and Nirvana at their height.
I think they did.
I think they did too. I think you're wrong.
I think they've surpassed it to big. I mean, their albums, everything from
Well, they have
Dirt to Jar of Flies and all the. Oh, Jar of Flies is one of my favorite albums they did.
obviously they have more great albums than those other bands, but some of that's just sticking around. Like,
yeah, well,
Wayne
that's good
Staley
staying power.
Didn't die for a few years after they really got cooking.
Yeah. There was other bands I wanted to bring up real quick that were very popular in the '90s that really were part of that grunge movement. Which there's the collaboration band between Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, which was Temple of the Dog.
Right, but they only had the one record, and that
They
was-
only did. It was a collaboration thing, but it was very weird. It was kind of like the Traveling Wilburys version. You know what I mean? It was good. And then you had Mother Love Bone, great band.
which all the songs from the Temple of the Dog record are Mother Love Bone record songs.
Yeah,
So
Well,
it's not
more or
like
less.
a compilation. It's basically these two bands were friends of the guy who
Well,
died, who
well
OD'd in Mother Love Bone, and took those songs and made a dedication record to him.
the Pearl Jam members, with the exception of what's his name, that the
Chris-
lead singer,
Eddie Vedder.
Chris-
with the
Eddie
exception
Vedder.
of Eddie Vedder, were the Mother Love Bone guys.
Correct. They formed both bands.
they didn't form Soundgarden.
Yeah.
No,
The guys from Mother Love Bone were members of Soundgarden and members of Pearl Jam.
Wouldn't it be great if we had access to a device that they gave us
That could tell us,
information?
yeah.
I know the guitarist wasn't,
Well, that's not the only member of.
and Chris Cornell wasn't.
Okay.
So that's the two main ones, unless it's a bass player or the drummer. But I don't think the bass player. I think the bass player went to Pearl Jam, and I think the drummer went to Pearl Jam.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Again, we could look this up, but let's just move on.
But anyway, neither here nor there. Right now, I'm into a very big band. I'm really fucking digging the shit out of that band. Is Devil Skin. My gosh, that fucking band is awesome.
I've heard of those guys.
Fucking amazing. They're not fucking low. I don't know what country they're from. I don't think they're from U.S., but they sing in English. So, but my fucking god, are they good? She has got a voice. Holy fuck!
Good shit, huh?
Very good stuff. Very, very, very good stuff. I haven't been pumped about a band that I've actually gone on almost every day just to listen to their songs.
Wow.
I haven't done that for like a long time. Like usually it's like a song. I was like, okay, I'm gonna like this one song, and I was like, no, that song's really good. No, fucking that song's really good. Holy shit! Every song I've heard is good, and I'm just really impressed with them. So yeah,
Well-
if you get a chance to check them out, Devil Skin, all one word, very cool.
Well, since
Um,
Rum is so into this band, why don't we pause right now to play? I'm just kidding. I'm too lazy to go look that shit up.
I'd love to get them on the show. If you go to their Facebook page, they say they respond within an hour on there. So I'm really, I might just drop them a line.
Do it, man. Fuck. Let's get it going. Let's get them
Yeah.
on here.
I know they got a tour coming, a very large tour on. I guess it's spanning Europe and the U.S. So let's see what I don't know when they're going to be coming through, but if they're playing somewhere on the East Coast, I'm going to see it. So
Yeah,
also,
I'd like to see that. I'd like to hear these guys. I'd like to check it out. I'm always into new stuff.
you don't like new things.
Yeah, you're right. I don't like it.
You don't like good stuff.
I like
That's
old things, like old
That's why I
women,
keep you.
old food, old shoes.
Old food's nice, yeah. If you have old
That's my-
food and you leave it sit, you know what they call that? Still life.
Okay. That's actually worse than the bad joke that I was about to make. But moving to a different subject, I don't think I've talked about it on here, but I've officially quit buying Marvel and DC comics forever.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Quick, why?
It's
You don't
kind
like
of a
their
long
politics? I mean, the way
story.
they're going, companies are going, or
Yeah. So basically, I came to the realization a few weeks ago because Marvel and DC have committed wholeheartedly to a lot of what's killing the movie and TV industry and just society in general, like the stuff that we're against, like PC politics and
Right.
like they do all these things. They made Iron Man, they made him a 15-year-old black girl for no reason other than
Which
because
I'm so confused by that.
he's back now. It's Tony Stark again, which was going to be. But the thing is, like, the comics industry is dwindling in this age when the movies are making billions of dollars. The industry that created these movies is dwindling, and I had spent the last couple of years thinking, like, maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they'll realize this is not a good thing. Maybe they'll stop, like, because there's been this thing with fan culture. Like, you see it in Star Wars, you see it, with The Last Jedi, you see it everywhere, where they've started attacking fans and saying, like, well, the fans are the problem. The fans are toxic. Did y'all hear that whole thing about they were saying that Star Wars fans chased the girl who played Rose in The Last Jedi off of Twitter?
hold on a second. I'll be right back. I think I accidentally put something on the living room TV via my phone, and I'm upstairs. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I did see that, man. I did see that.
Pause for a second and just realize his wife is probably figuring out what kind of porn he watches.
Right. He's like, oh, fuck.
Can't be anything good.
I really didn't mean to put I love dogs on there. Shit.
Right. But yeah, so they've started attacking the fans and saying the fans are the problem. We need to get rid of, again, straight white males, blah, 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 bullshit.
Right.
And for a long time, like, here's the thing with the gaming industry, I know you and Rum are gamers. I'm sure y'all paid a little bit of attention to Gamergate. I know y'all aren't as big into it as y'all used to be. But with industries like the video games and movies and TV, it's a big enough industry that you can last through it, and eventually they're gonna like just stick with what makes them money. And attacking fans doesn't make you money. Problem is, the comic book industry is so small that you can actually kill the comic book industry, and they're doing it currently. And for a long time, I was like, they're gonna realize it. They're gonna realize this is bad and stop doing it. But I came to the conclusion that they're not. They're never going to give up. They're going to keep attacking fans. They're going to keep shrinking the comic book industry. And the only way to save it is to stop buying Marvel and DC and start buying from other companies. And that's it. It kills me because I grew up on these comics. It's important to me that I can take my, nieces and nephews. I always wanted to take them to a comic shop when they're old enough to read and just be like, here, go crazy, go buy something. But it's not going to be around. They're killing this industry, and I made a decision, like, I'm not buying Marvel DC anymore. I'll buy if there's a used trade of something old that I want, I'll buy that. Something that does not give Marvel or DC any money. But when it comes to anything new that's on the stands, I will not give them a penny, and I encourage anyone who's listening and anyone like I'm hoping to make a video soon, but I need some help with it about this so I can explain at length. But I'm just going to encourage people to put them out of business. And it sounds harsh because, you think there's so many people that work for those companies, but those companies are telling you you're a piece of shit, and think about people like me that have spent literally a down payment on a house worth of comics over their lifetime. And we're being told we're pieces of shit and that we're what's wrong with comics and we're what's wrong with fandom. Like all these kids that are like, if you don't like Last Jedi, it's just because you're a man baby, you just want everything to be white male. Guess what? Those man babies are the reason that Star Wars is still around.
Exactly.
Like we were the ones watching Star Wars. So you wouldn't have had Star Wars to grow up with if we weren't watching it, if we didn't love it. So you can go fuck yourself. So it kills me to see the things go this way and to really take things away from the next generation. You look at the new fucking Thundercats, the new She-Ra, all that, like it's just garbage, and it's just like taking away something that was great and positive from kids and turning it into shit.
Well, I gotta agree with that. By the way, I'm back.
Yeah, we heard. Did Amy see the porn, or were you able to turn it off in time?
It was a video.
Yeah, we know.
We know it was video for sure.
It was a YouTube video, so it wasn't porn.
Okay.
Oh, all right. My
I've
bad.
done that, by the way. Accidentally, tried because you forget, it doesn't just go to the TV in my room.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And by the way, it's not just YouTube that has that function.
Yeah, no, it was a really bizarre video.
It was a video on how to kill your wife.
No, it was a music video, and I'm like, she's like, why is this on TV? I was like, oh fuck, bump the name button.
Has there? They're making these horror movies now. They're just dirt cheap because they're on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I think that there needs to be a movie that's like part horror, part comedy, where someone's trying to drive their grandfather insane so he dies by just using technology, things like he's sleeping and you turn on the TV from outside
With
the
your
house
phone.
with your iPhone and shit like that.
That's awesome.
He thinks the house is possessed because the TV keeps coming on.
Mm-hmm. And you do like the Transformers movies, which, by the way, the original Transformers movie is apparently going to be back in theaters soon.
Yeah, hope it comes here. It'd be really cool to go see it.
I think they're doing those what do they call those special screenings that they do.
Yeah, that Fathom events thing.
So it should be.
Are we talking about modern Transformers or the 80s
the
movie?
real
Oh, the old
Transformers
school, the
movie.
80s.
Oh, really?
It's remastered and everything, so it should look.
Oh,
good.
cool.
But I lost my train of thought. Oh, and I was saying they could do it like the modern Transformers Bumblebee, where they cut up different songs so he can say things. So you're like using your iPhone to pull up different YouTube videos that just jump back and forth to just give them a message like you're gonna die.
That's funny.
Yes,
I'd do that.
You would torture your grandfather?
Yeah, if I didn't like him, that bastard would be fucked.
Well, you didn't like Mr. Rogers. I can't imagine you loved your grandparents. Then.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a fucking movie. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude, it's already out.
Fuck that.
I hope they have the scene where you're insulted by him.
Fucking.
I
What a
love that
twat.
you hate Mr. Rogers, because whenever Mr. Rogers comes up, people are like, that's the great thing about Mr. Rogers. Like nobody could ever hate him. And I'm like, wait,
Bullshit. I know
I know
someone.
a guy.
He was such a douche. A douche. A big, thin, sweatered douche.
A sweater douche.
He's just. I don't know. He was an asshole.
I get it, man. You love him.
Him and God, just random
Everybody
people.
Everyone you ever met, Bobcat Goldthwait.
He was an asshole.
Greg Allman.
Yeah, he was senile bat that should have been driving.
Who else? John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah, he was a dick.
My favorite is the Reverend Al Green and John Stamos. That's my favorite.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, those two guys are little
That
turds.
shit with rum should be a TV show.
He was like, he was on stage. He was like, I'm so in love with you, but not you, kid.
Fucking
And shit.
tell me his fucking shoes cost more than my dad makes it a year. That's what he said. That old dickhead.
I mean,
Who? Al Green?
that was probably
Yeah.
true though.
Where my damn shoe? You better find my goddamn shoe. Makes my shoes are worth more than your father makes in a year. Like, his shoes right there. It's that size 3 girl's heel. He was such a dork.
I love that you're still bitter about it to this day.
I'm bitter. He's just a big turd. Is he dead yet?
No, he's still doing tours.
Oh fuck! I don't
Is
know.
he?
Maybe he'll break a hip or something.
He had 2 songs.
No, he had a
album
huge career. The soul community. I mean, his albums still sell.
Is that another way of saying a certain word about black people? Is that like
soul-
soul
when people
music?
are like the urban crowd?
No, I'm just saying that's when you listen to soul radio, which I do like every day. He's always on.
He is.
Soul 84.
Al Green is actually a very popular artist on the soul stations.
He really is.
I understand, but people only remember him for 2 songs.
No, dude, he has a ton of music.
I'm not
ton of
saying,
songs, dude.
I'm not saying that he didn't record a ton of music.
No.
saying
The people that listen to Al Green know him like people know the Beatles.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty much.
Well, aside from Shaniqua and Ray Ray, like most people only remember him. For
Actually,
like 2
Those
songs.
that German couple.
Actually, I just want to say that those 2 names probably do not know him. It's more like,
It's
like,
like Earl and
yeah, Theodore and like
Theodore. Well, you going to the Chipmunks?
no,
Yeah.
there would I guarantee there was a Ray Ray in
Alvin?
the 70s.
because Earl is a fucking chipmunk.
No.
Just because I said Theodore, I'm going with
You know
the
what? That does need to be the next Chipmunks movie. Alvin, Simon, and Earl.
My name's Earl.
Earl the derpy cousin.
Oh,
He's got like a derpy ear.
yeah. Hey guys, I'm Earl.
Speaking of chipmunks, since we mentioned the Transformers, the real movie from the 80s, am I the only one that was obsessed with the Chipmunks Around the World movie as a kid?
I don't even know that.
Apparently, dude.
Well, y'all are like 8 years older than me, but there was a Chipmunks cartoon movie. It was actually in theaters. It was the Chipmunks World Tour or something like that. And
Nice.
I must have watched this thing 100 times. I was absolutely in love with it. And like the music was great. And it was about, like, I guess it was like a battle of the bands thing around the world. And the Chipmunks were fighting the Chipettes. And at some point they go to a volcano and like one of them almost gets sacrificed.
Was this like Scooby Doo like animation?
No, it was back when the Chipmunks were a cartoon. That's
what I'm saying. But I mean,
But it
was it
wasn't-
that type of cartoon? That type of
Adam,
animation?
just to let you know that Scooby Doo was a cartoon at first before those 2 movies. Just
yes,
like
yes, but it was a different type of animation from Scooby Doo.
Well, that's what I was asking. I was thinking, was it that type of? Because I'm vaguely remembering a movie like that, but I didn't remember what it was.
What I was saying was that it's the same animation that the cartoon like Chipmunks were. It was just more expensive.
Oh, okay. You know who was better than the Chipmunks?
anal.
I can't argue that.
Who's better than the Chipmunks?
Shirley, Squirrely, and Melvin.
All right, you got me on that. What the fuck is that?
I want you to look up Shirley, Squirrely, and Melvin. Everybody listening,
Look,
look up Shirley, Squirrely, and Melvin.
we couldn't look up who the fuck was in Mother Love Bone. You think I'm gonna look up Shirley Squirrely?
I think you need to. I think whoever's on the damn computer right now needs to look up Shirley, Squirrely, and Melvin. By the way, they were squirrels,
I
and
figured
they rocked out.
So apparently, it was called the Chipmunks Adventure movie,
Oh, I love how you just push it on.
and it was in 1987.
You can look that up, but you can't look up Shirley, Squirrely, and Melvin.
No, I can't.
Please do, because you're gonna love the songs.
I
mean, they're up your alley.
I could, and I could tell you right now I will, but I won't.
All right, I'm just saying. You're gonna love it, dude. It's like I don't understand why they didn't take off like the Chipmunks. The Chipmunks came out originally a really long time ago, didn't they?
Yeah, they had an album in the 60s, and everyone's heard the song like
It's the Christmas thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this Shirley and Squirrely Melvin, they were like fucking gangsters.
With mistletoe and maybe some snow and good old Santa Claus.
Is that the Chipmunks?
Humbug.
no, that's your Squirrely.
What kind of horse shit is that?
That isn't what I asked you to look up. They have an album.
That's
Look up.
This is their album.
No, they did not have a Christmas album, dude.
Obviously, they did, because it's right here.
Look up the other one. Because I've never even heard that, dude.
Oh well, I forgot the rum guy's in the know.
Here, live album.
I mean,
look
to
up
be,
the fucking
to be
live.
fair,
As soon as I put it in, it comes up the correct album.
to be
Is that a
fair,
Squirrely Christmas?
the rum guy is the closest thing to an expert that we have on Shirley, Squirrely, and Melvin. So
Type in live. Don't. Why would you put a Christmas song in there? You actually typed in Christmas?
Let's get some of our friends and go caroling.
This is exactly what I got. This is all I got was that shit.
I don't even see. I'm looking on Google too. I don't even see this shit, dude. Are you using Google or using like AOL? What are you looking at?
Oh, here we go. Here's a live version.
That's the one.
There's more than one. They do Soul Man.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
folks,
Fuck, dude.
if you're wondering, this is exactly what they're like in real life. They do sound like an old Jewish couple, pretty much on the reg.
By the way, Wayne, that is Alvin and the Chipmunks album, A Very Merry Chipmunk Christmas.
No, it's not, dude. I'm telling you. I'm looking at this shit. It says Shirley, Merly, or Curly, whatever the fuck his name is in Melvin. I wish it was fucking Alvin Chipmunks, but it wasn't.
Welcome
I'm putting
to
in
Land of
albums.
God, a podcast.
Ow!
Oh, you're right. 1976.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. You're right. Hold the horses, everybody. Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit. That's way before my time, man. I didn't even know that.
I don't even know who these fucking people are.
Okay.
Wow. That's crazy. Adam, you learned something tonight. That's something.
I did. Holy fuck. Well, I already forgot it, and I'm glad.
Well, I got one last thing to say before we run away.
All right.
I kind of know what's getting there. I'm doing. I know Rum knows. I think Adam knows that I'm doing this pop-up shop this weekend. So if anybody wants to come out and hang out and see and get some toys or whatever, come out to Slidell on it's a place on Brown Switch Road. It's 663 Brown Switch. 663 Brown Switch Road in Slidell. It's a vendors expo. Come out, come see us, come hang out, come buy some toys from us. You know, they got all kind of stuff. There's plenty of vendors. There's like people that are doing. There's all kind of foods like people do, like fudges and candies and cookies and shit.
I'm doing some fudge right now.
And,
All right.
and
All right.
if you don't want to buy any toys, but you still want to go down, Wayne will watch you jerk off for $5.
Yep. There you go. Perfect. We'll go to the back and you can do it. And I'll just watch.
Speaking of, it's only like 20 weeks till Christmas, so now's the perfect time to go for toy shopping.
Yes.
Speaking of jerking off.
Speaking of jerking off. Exactly.
Oh, I just realized where you were going with that, Rum.
I think your math's off a little bit, but okay. We're good.
No, it's like 20 weeks till Christmas.
20 weeks, not 20 days.
No, 20 weeks.
Yeah, okay, you're good. I thought you said 20 days. I'm like, you know what? You're a little bit off,
No.
but I'm liking where you're going with it. So
No, not I didn't say 20 days.
I thought, like, Rum, what part of the world are you living in now? It's only 20 days.
All right.
But yeah, so if you guys want to come see me, come hang out, talk to me.
That's in Slidell, Louisiana.
I'll have some forged signatures on some MHOG merchandise you can have.
We have MHOG merchandise still.
Shut the fuck up! I'm gonna make up stuff. Just kidding. I'm trying to get people over there.
You should stop by and buy the MHOG Funkos.
I need to. We could probably make some.
We could.
You get those blank Funkos, just the vinyl.
Yeah, just draw on them.
Yeah, that's fun. We should do that.
Get like a T-shirt up.
Hey, let's have a giveaway.
We do.
I was talking to Travis Email today about needing to kind of revise the T-shirt design.
Yeah.
Put it up on a website like TeePublic or something like that people can buy from.
If they want to buy them, they can buy them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see that the MHOG Network Facebook page is almost done.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's something.
MHOP.
MHOP.
It's the Metal Hand of Pod.
Pod, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I just was like, it's almost done. I noticed that it wasn't quite complete yet, so I was.
No, it's not, because I'm just waiting for everything else to get settled first.
I got you.
We got a few pictures on it and stuff right now, but that's why there aren't very many people, because I haven't really invited anybody.
Well, that, and I noticed that there's like, it says like username at username instead of like an address for the contact. So okay, but it's coming. So something else to look forward to.
Yes. Naked.
That and buying the Shirley Squirrely and Melvin live album.
Why are we giving those people money?
Because they're awesome. I don't even know who the fuck they are, but they did an awesome job.
Me and Rum actually had an adventure about 6 months ago, and we're going to be posting that on here soon too.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember the?
Yeah.
Well, we'll make announcements for that later.
Okay.
Man, it's so good to be in the know on this podcast and be,
It's kind of a secret, man. It was a secret thing.
Yeah, apparently it's secret from the other people who are on the podcast.
Well, it's a surprise. We wanted to surprise you with it.
Yeah. But it'll be on one of the episodes. We'll make some more announcements when we get everything situated. But I think that's it.
I think it was good. We covered music. We covered iconic squirrels. Jerking off in Slidell. Go see Wayne. Maybe not in that order.
Jerk off in Slidell, yeah.
They'll even call you Ringo while
it's been full of stuff. And that's what we like. We like a full show.
But thank you guys for joining us. I was your host, Wayne.
I'm Adam.
And I'm the Rum Guy.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to always keep it
Ringo.
metal!
Adam story got a point, and if you let him explain, it's the pun of all